Hello guys, welcome to another Corbett Gaming Achievement walkthrough. This is a LASO guide for Mission 15, The Great Journey on Halo 2. At the beginning here, what you're going to want to do, I'm doing this co-op, so I get these elite out of the Spectre here. My partner's going to take the Spectre and park it back over there by that door, as you can see on my screen. Meanwhile, you're going to go ahead and melee this elite to death. I shot him a little bit to take down his shields, and then you just punch him to death. What this does is gives you a little bit of over shields, which makes this initial part to hijack a ghost a little bit easier because you can take a shot or two, which, if you don't get a perfect spawn where it comes right around the corner for you to hijack it, like what happened to me there, it's nice to have a little over shields to get some leeway so that you don't have to keep restarting the mission just to try to get the ghost. So go ahead and hijack your ghost and head on through the level here. What we're going to do is we're going to do the despawn trick. There's a couple different ways to do it, but I find it easiest to just do the ghost running past the door and then boosting back towards the beginning of the mission, which actually what it does is it despawns these two wraiths here so you don't have to fight them, as well as all these brutes that are running around this area. I kind of get knocked around a little bit going through these rocks here, but I think I still had a tiny bit of my overshields left or something, because as you can see, my ghost is a little damaged, but my character is not flashing yet, so my shields aren't completely gone. But just sneak past between those two rocks there and past the door, and then circle on back to the beginning here. When you pass this cliff right here, it doesn't really matter if you get a checkpoint or not. You can't see them anyway, obviously, on LASO. But if you get as far as I did there, you know you've gone far enough. The wraiths and all these brutes up here should be despawned, and you shouldn't have any difficulty getting up to this door and getting to the next part of the mission. Next up, what you're going to want to do is you're going to do kind of the YOLO strats running through these next two rooms, but I take a slightly different path. So when you teleport your partner to you here, just have him run in here and grab a sniper rifle and then go hide. Meanwhile, don't cloak right here like you do in the legendary speedrun. Wait until right about now. This is where I hit my cloak for the LASO run, because the enemies there, they just try to throw grenades at you anyway. Run on past these guys, and then normally you would cloak right here, but obviously my cloak is down because I used it late. The enemies are going to be mostly throwing grenades anyway, and then go to the right over here. By now your cloak should be active, so hit your cloak before you jump over that wall that I just did, and that allows you to get past that room pretty easy even on LASO. Next up is the bridge area. You're going to have a sniper on the far side that likes to hide behind the wall for some reason on LASO, so chuck a grenade across the bridge. As you can see, it blows up behind the wall there. That kind of forces the sniper jackal to jump up onto the wall, allowing you to go ahead and snipe him and get him out of your way. Then you're going to cloak and run up to this wall here, and then you need to wait until your cloak recharges. So just listen for that sound, and when your cloak has actually recharged, go ahead and hit your cloak and jump over the wall and run past all these jackals. So that's what I'm doing now. I was just waiting to make sure my cloak was up, activate my cloak, jump over the wall, run past everything. I almost died here and very carelessly decided to try to punch that flyer to death, but I didn't actually kill him, so I basically was just wasting my time there. The next room we're going to have is the jail, where you free your fellow elites and hunters. What you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to activate your cloak, sneak around the corner, and punch the first jackal to get your shields fully back. Then start opening up all the cages that your friends are in. I had another jackal come over here, so I had to deal with him real quick, or try to anyway. As you can see, I grenaded him, launches him around the corner, and I punch him to death. This room, it's not going to go the same way every time. The jackals tend to be in different spots sometimes, but the general idea is to have you and your co-op partner activate your cloak, sneak around the corner, punch one of the jackals in the back. That way you kill two of the three jackals together, and then open up all the cages so that your allies can start fighting the brutes. You have to kill a few, 2 or 3 brutes need to die in this room, which causes the next group of brutes to come through the far door. And then once that group of brutes comes through the far door, you can sneak across the upper level and just activate your cloak and drop down behind them to skip past this room. On the regular legendary speedruns, this goes pretty quickly, but on LASO, the elites and brutes that are fighting on your side tend to be a little bit retarded. They have a difficult time fighting these brutes here. So you're going to have to help them out a little bit. As you can see, I'm kind of trying to weaken these brutes a little bit with my sniper. I think I pick one off here with my carbine. Yeah, I took that guy out with my carbine. So at any rate, just give your allies a little bit of assistance there, getting a few of those guys killed. That'll allow that far door to open and for the next wave of brutes to come out, and then you can just go across the upper level and activate your cloak and drop in behind them and go through the door. I am running this video at straight normal speed. I'm not setting it to 1.25 or 1.5 like I normally do, as I just want to give people a really good method for getting through this level. So as you can see, the door had opened and all those brutes came out, so I'm just dropping in behind them, heading on through. This next part's where you meet up with the scarab. So you're going to have to pick off these brutes here. Hopefully you and your partner both have carbines at this point. Makes this part a little easier. My partner actually didn't pick up a carbine in the jail room, so I'm taking care of these enemies here while he just hangs back, because the beam rifle is really kind of worthless on LASO. It doesn't do a very good job of taking the brutes' helmets off, so I just prefer to use the carbine. At any rate, pick off all those brutes. The cutscene will activate. As soon as the cutscene is over, you're going to want to immediately turn around and run back the way you came. When you head down into that hallway, you'll hit a loading point, and when you hit that loading point, that is how you despawn all of the wraiths that the scarab normally gets stopped by. That way you don't have to fight those wraiths, and the scarab just keeps walking on down the valley. So we hit that loading point there. The wraiths are despawned. You just, whoever your better player is going to do this part, whoever's best at doing the glitch. So have the other person just hang behind. He can pick up some of those brute plasma rifles there on the platform. I'm just trying to punch this elite to death to get some shields here, I think. I was a little concerned with my shield status, so I tried to beat down this white elite here and get some shields from him. Although I think I used the sword to do it, and I'm not 100% certain if you actually do get shields when you kill an ally with the sword. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to try to kill that guy to get some shields, make sure you're punching him with a plasma rifle or something and punch him to death. At any rate, grab the Banshee, whoever's going to do this part. Grab the Banshee, fly down the valley. You kind of have to zigzag your way through it sometimes, as I'm doing here. It just all depends on where the specters spawn, because you don't want those specters ripping you apart as you're flying down the valley. And you can see the specter from the beginning of the mission is now still sitting here. That's why you go ahead and park it over there. I should have mentioned this earlier, but make sure that your partner is not sitting in the Banshee the specter the first time you teleport him, because if he's still sitting in it, it actually despawns that specter and it won't be there when you come back. So he needs to just move it over there and park it, and then get out and just wait to be teleported as you go through the level. Hug this right hand wall here. Those two Banshees that come out, they tend to fly over to the left, so if you hug the right hand wall, you don't tend to get shot by them too much. I've actually made it through this part on LASO with no shields. By doing that, the Banshees took like 1 or 2 shots at me but didn't finishing me off, so I was able to get past it. So hug the right, go out into the water, and then come over to the left here. I prefer this path to get the specter up the building, because the right hand side seems to take a lot longer, and I have a harder time getting into position before the scarab gets up here and blows open the door. So when you're going through this part here, just follow the general path that I'm taking here. When you come up to the building here, you'll see me going up this white ramp up here to the right in just a second, this right here. When you go up this ramp, make sure you hug the left-hand side of it, because if you're over more towards the middle, when you land on the upper area, sometimes the specter will get stuck, and that really slows you down trying to get it free. You have to punch it and grenade it, and it can slow you down to the point where you're not in position by the time the scarab gets there. So just make sure you go up on the left-hand side. Then come across, slide down here. When you get about even with that platform there, boost over and land right where I landed here. And just slide down the wall again. Turn and face kind of up the ramp as you're sliding down so that you don't accidentally flip the specter. And then right here, what you're going to want to do is line up, and you hit your boost, but you let off the boost right after you go over the ledge there and pull back on the left thumbstick. That'll help you stick the landing on this little pillar here. So once again, when you're boosting across that gap there, just back all the way up to the wall. Hold down your boost until you actually until you hit the ledge. When you hit the ledge, let off your boost and pull back on the left thumbstick, and you should land on this pillar pretty easily. Once you land on the pillar, then you can go ahead and start boosting a little bit again once your specter gets tilted up and is actually facing up the ramp that you land on with this light right here. Now that you see that delusions and grandeur message, go ahead and inch your way over the ledge here. And then to get this trick to work, what I do is I push myself against the specter and let the specter actually push me off the ledge. That makes me nail this trick almost every time. If you hit the loading zone and you get in here and the specter is not here, just keep dying as fast as you can. Die 5 times or 6 times really fast, and it should revert you back to the previous checkpoint, and you can try to do the glitch again so that you don't have to run the whole level again. The reason that you want to glitch this specter in here, for those of you that aren't aware by now, what this does is it allows you to actually clone Sergeant Johnson, because when he gets into the specter, you'll see him climbing into the turret right here. That tricks the game into thinking that he hasn't spawned, and so the game will actually spawn another Sergeant Johnson. And then that one will get into the specter, and it'll spawn a third one, and that one will get into the specter. Make sure you kill the elite if he gets into the specter. You'll see I got a white elite sitting in my passenger seat there. So I had my co-op partner jump in the driver's seat to keep the specter from moving, and I just go ahead and kill both of these elites. Make sure when you're killing them, punch them for the final blow so that you get a little bit of shields from them. It's not really necessary, but you know, why not? Why not get some shields from murdering your allies? It might help you. It might save you from a random grenade as you're finishing off Tartarus. So I finished off the 2 elites there. I'm going to get back in the driver's seat here. By now, as you can see, I already have 2 Sergeant Johnsons in the Spectre, and the third one has already actually cloned himself up there. So he'll jump into the other passenger seat, and a 4th one will spawn once you go across the gap. So you'll actually have 4 Sergeant Johnsons sniping Tartarus. So what you're going to want to do, aim about a 45-degree angle, give or take, to the right. Boost across, and for me the Spectre actually flipped pretty good, almost in a perfect spot there. Make sure you blow up the Spectre, especially if it doesn't flip. If it doesn't flip, both you and your co-op partner need to immediately chuck some plasma grenades at it and blow it up, because if not, what can happen is Tartarus can actually hammer the Spectre and knock it off the map, and you'll lose your handy-dandy cloned Sergeant Johnsons. The co-op partner is going to just stay back across the gap at the beginning of this area. He's not going to come over. The player that boosted across goes up top, up the lift, and grabs the 2 plasma rifles from the box as you saw me do there. And then hopefully if you got a good positioning on your Sergeant Johnsons, you should be able to peek down over the ledge like I'm doing here and just wail on Tartarus whenever his shields are down. Your co-op partner, the one that stayed across the gap, he's going to keep an eye out for you. If the brutes that show up after Tartarus starts taking damage, if those guys start chucking grenades up to the upper level, then it's the co-op partner's job to call it out. Just say grenade, grenade, or whatever. Pick a call-out word and let you know that grenades are flying up to the top so that you can turn around and dodge them. Because I did have one time where I was up here and one of the brute ads actually chucked a grenade up there and killed me. But that's pretty much it. That's the end of the mission. As you can see, Tartarus died there. The Spectre to clone the Sergeant Johnsons there makes this extremely easy on LASO, and it's definitely the way to go if you ask me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, if you do, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Enjoy those LASO runs.